guys, it is Sunday, May 12th, and therefore it is the very first day of the Bingoathon. So it's actually around mid-afternoon. Yeah, it's 12:30 right now. It's actually Mother's Day right now, so happy belated Mother's Day to everyone. I unfortunately cannot see my mom. I'm working tonight. I'm doing a floor set, which just is really bad timing, I feel like, for the company, but whatever. So it's actually, I guess, like a blessing and a curse at the same time, because can't see my mom, can't go home to see my mom, but I did see her last weekend, so I guess we celebrated a little bit early. But on the plus side, I don't really have anything to do until 5 p.m. when I go into work, so I did get some quality reading started. This is my lunch. I've been eating it and reading. So what I've got here is just some plain elbow pasta, some vegan cheese, some chili lime seasoning, a vegan hot dog, and just some butter. A little bit of vegan butter too. It's like really rainy. I am by myself because my boyfriend went home to see his parents, so it's just me and the dog. And I was just kind of feeling a little bit of comfort food, so that's what I've been eating. I'm just gonna move it out of the frame because it's getting Bruce real excited. But I did start one of the books for the Bingoathon, and that is The Girls by Emma Cline. This one was for anticipated read, I'm pretty sure. I've made some pretty good progress this morning. I'm on page 92 out of 355. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It was a little bit of a rocky start because I think based on the synopsis and what I thought the book was about, it's very, very different, but I'm not complaining now because I'm used to it, if that makes sense. So it's about a young girl named Evie, and she's supposed to get caught up in like an infamous cult that is supposed to be influenced by the Manson cult, I'm pretty sure. That's what it reads to me, if not just a lot of coincidences, I guess. So I'm actually like on I'm on page 92, so I guess kind of a little bit, almost to a third of the book, and we haven't really met any of like, well, we've met one of the girls who is assumably in the cult, but it hasn't really dealt with that at all, which is what I thought this book was kind of going to go through. So that was interesting, but I am really liking it. It's going into Evie's childhood, and I think just kind of breaking down the reasons why she might have been very susceptible to joining the cult in the first place. Because her childhood's a little rough. She's going through like a lot of family changes, like her parents' divorce. She's losing her best friend. I don't think any of this is like a spoiler because, again, it happens in the first 50 pages. But it's just like a very tumultuous time, and she is... It says that she's a teenager in the jacket, but I'm pretty sure she's 14 when all this takes place. And what I'm really liking about it is that it's really describing those god-awful teenage years where you're not a teenager, but you're not a preteen, you're not a kid, you're not an adult, you're just in like kind of a weird, funky limbo. And I'm just really enjoying all the description of that because it is such like an awkward time for girls. I mean, I don't have the perspective of a guy. I'm assuming it's horrible for them too, but you're kind of in this limbo where you kind of have this thing going on where you and your friends are kind of growing up at different periods, and like some of them are getting really into boys and more mature things, and you know, half of you are still very juvenile. And both of those are fine experiences, but it's just like very awkward where you're trying to figure out, you still kind of feel like a child, but you don't want to be a child anymore, but you also feel like an adult even though you're totally not an adult. Does that make sense? This book describes that really, really well. It's an awkward limbo feeling that I hated, and I've never really read in a book as great as this one so far. There was one quote that I wanted to read because I just kind of read it and I was like, yes, exactly this. It's Evie and her friend are hanging out with some guys, and they're kind of trying to flirt. Again, awkward 14-year-old. They're kind of trying to flirt, but it's like the guys are hanging out on one side, girls are hanging out the other side. She half-heartedly tried to pull away, whining until Henry finally let her go. She rubbed her wrists. Asshole, she muttered, but she wasn't really mad. That was part of being a girl. You're resigned to whatever feedback you get. If you're mad, you're crazy, and if you didn't react, you're a bitch. The only thing you could do was smile from the corner they backed you into. Implicate yourself in the joke, even if the joke was always on you. So that was one quote I really enjoyed. Another one, it's still kind of talking about the same sort of situation. I'm sorry for the really gross noise if you can hear it in the background. My dog decided to come like right up and start chewing on a bone. And I'm obviously, you can kind of see his little head there. I'm not gonna take it away from him because he's enjoying himself, but it's kind of gross. So hopefully you can't really hear it. But the next quote that I really enjoyed was, "We need the machine keys," Peter said, lighting a thin joint he pulled from his pocket so we can open it up. "I'll get them," Connie said. "Don't miss me too much," she crooned to Henry, fluttering a little wave before she left. To me, she just raised her eyebrows. I understood this was part of some plan she had hatched to get Henry's attention. To leave, then return. She had probably read about it in a magazine. That was our mistake, I think. One of many mistakes. To believe that boys were acting with a logic that we could someday understand. To believe that their actions had any meaning behind thoughtless impulse. We were like conspiracy theorists, seeing important and intention in every detail, wishing desperately that we mattered enough to be the object of planning and speculation. But they were just boys. Silly and young and straightforward, they weren't hiding anything. So that was something else that I just really enjoyed. Again, as like a 7th and 8th grader, there was definitely a time where me and my friends would read like J14 and Tiger Beat and all of those like teeny bopper magazines, and there would be like ways to, you know, get a boy to like you, you know, tips and tricks for flirting, and they're all super weird looking back at it. But we would always follow them like religiously, and just this kind of, this definitely pokes fun of it because obviously they're young boys. They're definitely not trying to like hide anything. Boys generally mature like slower than girls did. So at the time, at least in my high school, like when we were all kind of getting boy crazy, there weren't very many boys that were interested in girls still. We all still had cooties. So it was just like looking back on it, like such a waste of time. And the tips and tricks were like really weird too. I didn't wear green from 7th grade to senior year of high school because I read in 17 magazine it was like the least attractive color or something, or like a color that like no one looked good in or something, which is so bizarre thinking back on it now, that just like some random tip in like a garbage magazine influenced what I wore for a long time. But I'm really liking that. So this is kind of, I believe it's kind of narrated by Evie as she's an adult, because it kind of like jumps from like memory to memory and there's not really like a stagnant timeline. So I am kind of interested to see like when the cult comes in and when she actually gets into that sort of thing, because again, that's all like the jacket talks about. That's all the synopsis really talks about, and we still haven't gotten into it at all. So I'm going to finish eating my lunch. I'm going to get some headway into this. I just wanted to hop on and actually film a clip of me talking today because I haven't done that yet. I might try and finish this today because it's a fairly fast book to fly through. So I'm gonna try and finish it today. I have 3 books on my TBR and Bingoathon is a week long, but there are a lot of books that I really want to read, and I did just get like a bunch of books from the library that I want to read, so gonna try and read more than 3 books this readathon. So gonna finish up and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. So I'm getting ready to go to work. It's a floor set, so I can just wear like leggings, which is nice. I got to page 177 on this, and she's in the cult now. She's making her way to the cult, and a lot of gross things are happening. Like, I don't know, is that a sign that you're an adult now? Like, I'm reading this, I'm like, she's a child and way too young for all of this. But yeah, just, I don't know, it's leaving a really icky feeling in my throat. I might try and finish the rest of it after Game of Thrones tonight. We'll see. Because I really wanted to finish it today, but I haven't done that yet. Another good thing about floor sets is that we can listen to like music, or, you know, just like have our phones on the floor, since obviously the store is closed. So I'm actually gonna be listening to an audiobook. I have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on audio. I've been waiting for it forever on overdrive, and I finally got it. So I'm gonna be listening to that, so I might make pretty good progress on that depending on how long the audiobook is. Yeah, but I actually have to get out the door, so I have some snacks, some food, like some granola bars and stuff. Again, my boyfriend's gonna get back home, so we might have like a really late dinner. We're gonna want to spend time with each other because we haven't seen each other for a while. So I might eat after, which is why, you know, I had kind of a bigger lunch. So I've got like some crisps in there, like these little like rice cake things. I might buy a smoothie there as well. I was gonna make one, but then I was reading my book and lost track of time, so I have to leave now without making a smoothie, so I might just buy one there. But yeah, gotta go to work, so I will see you guys much later. Good morning, guys. It is now Monday. I had originally planned on vlogging a little bit more yesterday, but the floor set was a little bit more difficult than we thought. So I was supposed to get out of there at 11 and I ended up getting home at 1:30. So that was not too ideal, and then I kind of just ate some food and went to bed. So it is around 10:30 right now. I just woke up. I've been avoiding my phone because we're gonna watch Game of Thrones. It's been very hard not going on Twitter or even like Instagram or Snapchat or anything, and just because I don't want to get spoiled. So yeah, normally I don't really like watching TV in the mornings, but this is an exception. So we're gonna go ahead and watch Game of Thrones, and then after that, I don't have to work today, so I don't have that much I need to do. I do want to get a workout in, so that'll be like an hour. And then I also want to do some writing, and I kind of scheduled 1 to 2 hours for that, but other than that, I can just read all day. So once I watch Game of Thrones and possibly SNL, because I haven't seen this week's SNL, and I'm a Jonas Brothers stan. Been a fan since 8th grade, back in their glory days. Kind of game plan for today, definitely yesterday just did not turn out how I wanted, because I wanted to have a couple more hours at least before getting home, but just the floor set was a lot harder than we thought, so we ended up getting home way later, which is fine because I think that throws me into overtime territory for this week for hours, so can't complain about that paycheck. So that was this morning's update. I wanted to jump on first thing and update you guys. So I'm a little bit of a mess. So next update, I'll be looking more put together, sounding more awake, everything like that. So yeah, gonna go watch Game of Thrones. I thought I'd hop on and update you guys. Game of Thrones was how I started my day. I'm trying to upload this tomorrow, so it was the one that just came out this week, and it sucked. Hated it. Absolutely. Wow. I have so many feelings about it, but not gonna spoil anything. It was bad for so many ways. I did not like it. So after that, we watched SNL and just kind of hung around the house a little bit. I did read a big old chunk of The Girls, and then we worked out and came back here. I finished reading The Girls, and I've just been working on my book for the past hour or so. So that's been good. I've really been trying to get in the habit of writing more every single day. Yeah, I actually already have a book written. It was a NaNoWriMo project from a couple years ago, actually. Yeah, I'm just doing the second draft of it. I kind of put it away for a little bit and worked on other things because I'm very self-conscious about writing. I really enjoy it. I really love it. It's what I want to do as a career, but at the same time, I have a lot of self-doubt about what I've written. So I put it away for a little bit, and then I took it out once it wasn't as fresh in my memory and reread it, and I'm actually pretty impressed with what I wrote. It definitely has like solid bones and everything, so I'm just kind of going through and writing a second draft of it. So that's actually what I'm doing. The anxiety and self-doubt really get to me on that front, so it's really been helping me to write just like a little bit each day, even if it is only like a sentence or two. At least, you know, you're writing something. So that is what I've been up to. Yeah, I finished this book, 4 out of 5 stars. It's the very first book that I've completed for the Bingoathon, and this was really not what I was expecting at all, just reading the synopsis. It's definitely more of a character study, I would say. It's very character driven. There's not a lot that actually happens, and I would kind of compare it to, I'd compare Evie as a main character to Nick in The Great Gatsby, as they're very much not a part of the action. They're like a side character in their own story, if that makes sense. And that's something I actually really enjoy reading about. I think it's a really cool point of view to have. Yeah, this is the second book I've read this month, and the second book of the month book I've read this month, and both of them have been 4 stars, which I'm very happy about, because I was like in like a weird rut with book of the month books where I was like kind of debating whether or not I should cancel my subscription, just because I've had a couple books that I absolutely hated from there. And I believe in April, I actually skipped altogether because I didn't really see anything that I wanted. But this month has been pretty good, and I've been trying to read books that I haven't read that I've got from Book of the Month and have really been enjoying, so I'm feeling very optimistic with that. Oh, I almost forgot, because I didn't update last night. I'm also listening to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I am about 45% of the way through, I believe, was my latest update for that, and I'm really gonna try and fit it into the Bingoathon in some challenge. I haven't decided which one yet, but I love it so much. This one is probably, it is my favorite book of the series, and it probably is still gonna be my favorite book of the series. There's just so much that I love about it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing that one, I think tomorrow. Audiobooks I primarily listen to in the car or like during floor sets, stuff like that. So I'm not gonna be listening to any more of that tonight. So I might pick up another book. I haven't decided. I'm really on like a writing kick right now, so I'm gonna kind of roll with that for a while, and it is 8:40. So there's not that much time left in the day, but I will update you guys if I end up picking up another book. We'll see. It's kind of 50-50 at this point, because I did really crush a bunch of pages in this book, because I was only like halfway through when I started this morning. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys later. So it's the end of the night. I did end up picking another book out. I started reading The Outsider by Stephen King. I'm only about 30 pages into it, so I don't really have any updates on it. I am really excited to read it. It's in a very interesting format. At the moment, it's like going back and forth between police interviews and just like a normal narrative. So that's pretty neat. It's a chunky book, so I'll probably start in on more of that tomorrow, but it's almost midnight, and I'm going to just kind of put a face mask on, relax for a little bit, and then go to bed, because I do have a really long day of work tomorrow. I work from 12:30 to 9:30, so I think I'm just going to close out this vlog here. But I will be filming the rest of the week, so if you are interested in more videos, hit that subscribe button, and I will see all of you tomorrow in another vlog. Bye guys!